Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Welcome back to the city of Des Moines. In today's episode, we're going to actually go and put our first train in. Also, we need to rework the cargo network because it's a mess. So what I'm going to do is start here in the Des Moines, and I'm going to actually delete this central hub I put in place. Is this going to mess up most of our lines? Absolutely, but I'm okay with that. Now I'm going to travel to Miramar. Now in Miramar, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get rid of the central hub. So we're going to delete that for now. So we've made it back to Des Moines, and I'm going to set the train station right about here for $193,000. My question is, yes, it's highlighting both industrial and residential. So I'll set that there, and then we'll go and put the track in place. But before we go and put the track in place, let me go and configure the station really quickly and put down passenger platforms for them. I also need to get my central hub back in place as well. So we'll find a truck stop and we'll set it like somewhere right in here. I think this will be a good spot for it. And now what I want to do is put in the track. It's going to be a double track, but it's just going to be one single track with an add-on. And let's go ahead and get tracks. I do have a couple of mods. If I can remember, I'll put them down in the description below for you if you want to check them out. Also, if you would like, in the upper right hand corner, there will be a link taking you back to the original video, the first episode, so you can get caught up on what I did to get this far. So let's go ahead and continue on making the track get over to Miramar. As long as there's no bridges or anything like that or tunnels, I'm good with it. So we'll go ahead and connect that to the station, which is good. Now what I want to do on the right side, I believe, is yes, I would want to extend from this side if I was going to extend the station, as far as putting a double track station in. So I want to put another track right about in here, and I want to run this back to Des Moines. But I don't want to get too close to the station, and I have a good reason for that. Let me explain what I mean. So in other words, say I have a train that's a little bit longer than the station. When the train turns around, I don't want it getting stuck or trying to figure out how to go the other way. So that's kind of why I leave space between the station and the dual track. Now we need track placement. And this way, this will keep any trains from doing a head-on collision, hopefully. And then we'll set up the line and we'll make sure to get the trains. So what I want to do is set up two lines. So and these are going to be simple lines. They're both going to be in a dark blue color. And the first line is simply going to go from Des Moines, and it's not a passenger, it's actually a cargo, to Miramar. And that's the first line. So this is going to be called line 1, and it's going to be Des Moines to Miramar. And it's going to be a cargo. The second line is going to be exactly the same, Des Moines to Miramar, and this is going to be a passenger line. So let's set that one up as well. There we go. So I'm not going to mess with anything except for the stop times, of course. I'm going to turn them all off at this point because I don't feel the need for that for such a short distance. Now what I want to do, since the track is in place, the single one is in place, I want to get a train depot. So let's work on that. I'll place it right about here, which is fine. And we'll get a track right to it. There we go. Now we have about $6 million. Before I purchase the train, what I want to do is go through and manage our lines. I also want to look at finances. As you can see, we're not doing very well right now with the numbers. A lot of our lines, over half, are in the red. So I want to come through here and I want to manage the lines. So what I'm looking at is for line 10, which is still is, or Lakewood Oil Sand to Des Moines. That line's going to get extended. Same thing with the line 11, Des Moines Grain to Durham Alcohol. That one's also going to be extended. Line 12 is going to get removed because I won't need it after I extend 10. So there's a lot of duplicate lines that I made. So basically what I've done is I've got rid of line 3, line 12, line 15, line 16, line 17, line 18. All these lines have been sold, and I'm going to delete them off our roster because they are not needed any longer. Alrighty, so if we take a look now, as you can see, I got rid of a lot of the lines. I'm even going to sell some of the local vehicles as well because it's just not making us a profit. And what I want to do as far as reworking our lines is, especially now what we are calling line 5, which was originally from the Lakewood oil sand to the Des Moines refinery. Now I want to extend this line actually so it drops off at the train station in Des Moines. So we'll go and add the train station to the list, which is the Des Moines siding. And what I want to do is I want to come in here and tell it to take a full load. Max stop time 90 seconds, that's it. And what I want to do is pick up fuel and drop it off in the Des Moines train station. Now this will also provide the city plus the train that's heading down to Miramar once I get the train purchased. So that's one line I want to address. Now anytime you take a line for a further distance, you always want to consider the condition of the vehicle and also maybe add in more vehicles to the line. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to actually upgrade all the vehicles to this type of vehicle since it's, yeah, I want to change my mind because we're carrying oil sand. So I'm going to continue to use these vehicles and we're going to upgrade for $1.2 million. I'm also going to go and actually add on some more vehicles to the line. I'm going to increase it by probably 15 more vehicles for now. So it may take a minute for it to get self-straightened out, but we'll be okay there. Now, as far as the other line, line 6, the Des Moines grain to alcohol distillery, I'm going to extend that line as well now. So we'll come over here to the food place. And what I want to do is I want to come in here and I want to extend the line so it picks up and drops off at the Des Moines site, and just like the fuel did. I want a full load. You can stop max of 90 seconds on each one of these stops. And basically all you're going to do is pick up some food and drop it off. That's all I want. The other thing I want to double check to make sure I turned off the stop times on the way back, because that will cause major issues. So those two lines are now done. All right. So we've kind of reworked the network. Now what I want to do is purchase 2 trains. So we're going to come down here and we're going to get ourselves 2 trains. I may have to take a loan. I want the 442 Atlantic, and I want 1 boxcar and 1 fuel car. That's all I want for $3.7 million. I want to turn that into a blue color, and I want to set it on line 1. And check this out. Here comes our train. Isn't that a beautiful sight? I love watching these trains in Transport Fever 2. I could do this all day, by the way. But we won't. We have work to do. So now what I want to do is come back. I want to take a small loan and I want to purchase a passenger train. So I want to borrow, say, another $3 million roughly. And now get our passenger train. So we're going to use the same locomotive. I want to select the 6-axle passenger car. I only want one of them. And it's going to cost us $3.9 million, which is fine. And that one's going to go out on line 2. And there we go. If you're wondering why I only put 1 boxcar and 1 fuel car on there, is it just simply comes down to running costs until we can get the manufacturers back online and starting to ship products again. Which this one looks like it's starting to come back online now. And the food one, it may take it a minute to realize what I've done. So we'll give them some time. It's not the end of the world. It will manage. In the meantime, what I really want to discuss with you is how do we make these trains profitable? So one of the tips and tricks I have in Transport Fever 2, make a train profitable, the ideal situation would be to have products being shipped both ways. Okay, right now, pretty much all of our product is coming out of Des Moines to Miramar, right? That's not the best scenario for profitability as far as trains. If we look at our finances, we're spending $312,000 on line 1 and $304,000 on line 2. We're definitely going to be going towards bankruptcy if we don't fix our stuff. So my solution to this problem is I always look for things I can ship back. So if we take a look over here, we have the Miramar oil well. We also over here have the Miramar oil refinery. So what I could do is get some vehicles out here to start getting this up and running, these two factories. And then I can ship it all the way back up past Des Moines to the Des Moines fuel refinery. Now I know what you're thinking. Stay with me though. The reason behind this, we'll be extending that train line all the way up to Chattanooga. And I'll show you where that is in just a moment. So now what I want to do is get myself a road. And I want to try to connect it up to the oil refinery over there. This way the trucks don't have as far to go. It's more of a direct shot for this line. I want to place down some truck stops, of course, right over in here. And I want to get this line set up. So we'll place one there, and then we'll get one over by the oil refinery. Now please stay with me because I do have more tips and tricks coming up here very shortly. So that line is set up. Okay, now we need to actually add a new line. This line is just going to be line number 7. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible when I'm setting up these lines now, because that whole system I had before caused some mass confusion for me, let me tell you. So this is just going to be the Miramar oil cargo for now, and we'll select a pink color on this one, and it simply is going to go from Miramar oil to Miramar oil refinery. I'm knowing most of the stop times except for the first one for 90 seconds. It's going to be a full load. It will pick up simply crude oil and drop crude oil off. That's all I want it doing right now, nothing else. So that is set up. Let me go over and get some vehicles from the road depot. And since it's just pure nothing but crude oil and fuel, we can use these trucks. I'm going to say put a total of 25 trucks on this line, and I don't have the money. So 1 second, let's take a loan. So I'm going to borrow another, say, $3 or $4 million. Let's just go up to 20 million. Why not? You can see how much we're losing per quarter. We're losing over $1 million. Last quarter was $8 million, ladies and gentlemen, last quarter. That hurts. But anyway, I'm going to go and get 25 of these vehicles, and I'm going to set them out on the Miramar oil cargo. And they can come out and start picking up the crude oil. Now, what I want to do, once this manufacturer starts getting enough, I want to ship it over to the train, and then I'll explain from there. All right, look at the traffic jam we have going on over here with this. This is actually the food factory we're having problems with. Let me go and check the timing on this line. So let's go into manage line, and I want to shut off all timing over here. And I wonder if I turned off the timing at Des Moines site, and I did. So there should be no stop time except for the first one of 90 seconds. There we go. And wouldn't you know, if there's one, there's always another. Look at this. Look how far it's backed up over here. I think I know what the problem is here. And once again, it's the same issue that I had over there. And that's the stop times. Or maybe not. Yeah. No, there's no 90-second stop here. There's only 90 seconds on the first. There we go. This should actually fix our traffic jam as well. As you can see, we are having passengers being picked up and dropped off here in Des Moines. We have fuel and also food on the platform heading over to Miramar. So what do you think the pricing will be to drop off 8 passengers? Let's look. $46,000. Not exactly what I was looking for as far as profitable, but you know what? Any amount works. Let's take a look at our cargo train. Let's see how much we get for 12 pieces of food and 9 pieces of fuel. So it's pulling into Miramar now. $183,000. I think now would be a good time to actually expand the number of cars on this vehicle. So let's take a look. So I'm going to take off that fuel tank car, and we're going to add a total of 4 each. So a total of 8 cars on this train for $3.4 million. We'll change it into the color blue, and this should actually help pick up the rest of this cargo. As you can see, we're getting a pretty good load on here. if we look at our finances, we're not doing so hot yet, but we're slowly getting there. As you can see, line 5 liquid oil sand to fuel to Des Moines is doing better. It's making almost $1 million. Our drain line's making $600,000. Overall, I think we're doing pretty good. As far as this line, we're having the same issues. So let's take a look at this. So manage line, I want to turn off the 90-second stop time on this. And I want to make sure, yeah, good thing I double checked. There was a 3-minute hold coming back. I don't want that. So this line now should start making money. It is an oil line, and usually oil lines and Transport Fever 2 does quite well for itself. Now what I wanted to do is I want to show you something. If we head up here, we have Durham, right? Durham wants construction material, 42 of them, and they want 40 as far as food. We know Des Moines already producing food. That's obvious. Also, if we take a look further north, we have Chattanooga up here, which also wants 42 fuel and 39 food, right? So that was my plan as far as extending the railroad network up here in the next episode. So if we come back to Miramar Oil Refinery, there is enough to extend the line to the train. So let's go ahead and do that now. So line number 7, managed line. We want to actually pick up some refined oil, and we want a full load, and we want to add an additional stop, which would be the central hub by the train station. We want to turn off the wait times because we don't need them. That's just going to cause more problems for us. And basically all we're going to do is unload some refined oil. Here is one of my tips and tricks of the day. Okay. If we come back to the oil refinery in Miramar, you can see it's not producing anything for us. Let me explain. If we come back up here and we add a truck stop to the Des Moines fuel refinery, so we'll do that now. So we'll set one there. And what we will do is we'll actually set up a line over here from our central hub near the train station over to the Des Moines fuel refinery. And I'll show you. So we'll get a line there and we'll set it up to go over there. A full load, no more than 90 seconds. And I'm even might regret doing that because of how busy the station is going to get. Turn off the return time. You're going to simply pick up some refined oil and you're going to drop off refined oil. And then we'll get a vehicle out on that line in just a moment. So if I highlight and pin this up here for the Miramar Oil Refinery, and I let it know that now there's a vehicle on that line, you'll see it start to produce. So what we'll do is get one of these trucks, and I'm only going to get one because there's no point in spending a crap ton of money on this line. So there we go. We have actually put a truck on that line. Therefore, this factory should start producing. And this is going to be line number 8. And this is going to be, let's see, Miramar Fuel Cargo. Because I am going to call it Miramar Fuel Cargo because that's where it initiated out from. And let me unpause the game. That would probably help. So it takes a little bit for it to recognize that, hey, look, we have a vehicle on this line. We can actually start producing oil. Because there's no other reason why it wouldn't be producing. There it goes, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, it's now producing almost 100 of the 150 it has in production. Now what will happen, all right, as you can see, we do have refined oil that just got picked up, and it's now heading over to Des Moines. Now, one thing to keep in mind, not only are we shipping extra product out from here to Des Moines, but the extra fuel that we have over here from Des Moines will get shipped back to Miramar. So we are actually making profit not only once, not only twice, but 3 different times. And that's what I mean by, working the profit, making sure you have at least 2 different profit sources coming from each direction. So this line is actually getting overloaded. So I'm going to add additional vehicles from the refined oil from Miramar up to the Des Moines. If you take a look, our train is now officially making us some money. $420,000 worth this train is making us at this time. Our passenger line is not doing so hot right now, but I'll give it some time. It should increase. And our other lines besides the line 2 and line 8, which I can't even really complain about because it just got started, are the only two lines in the red. Literally all I'm doing is sitting here watching that number go up at the Des Moines fuel refinery. Once it hits close to 100, I will start shipping it back to the train. I do want to point something out to you. We are actually overloading as far as like refined oil. So I want to keep adding some vehicles to this line. So I want to get up to 9 vehicles at this time and see what happens there. Because every time the train drops off, this platform becomes overloaded. The other thing I could do is just to expand the platform just a little bit on both sides. That will just not only help the drop-offs, but it will also help any congestion within the station. $381,590 for that drop-off was not a bad drop-off. See, we're just getting so much fuel, so much oil on this platform. I'm going to increase the vehicles again. So I'm going to go up to, say, 18 vehicles, and I do want to change the line color on this. I want to go for something more like a yellowish color. That looks good enough to me. So let's go and take a look at the Des Moines fuel refinery. There's enough to start shipping back. So let's go ahead and do that. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use the same vehicles we've used. So we're going to manage line, and we're going to tell it to pick up some fuel now. I want a full load, no stop times, and I want you to drop it back off at the central station. Or in this case, the Des Moines siding. So what I want to do is drop it off and no wait time coming back. Des Moines fuel refinery will start producing fuel, and now we can ship it back both ways. And that is how you make a profit using a train. Well, I hope all these tips and tricks were very helpful to you during this episode. What I would like to do is, if we take a look at the Des Moines fuel refinery over here, with the oil sand, we can actually produce actual pure sand. Now, if we come down here a little bit, we have a construction material plant that accepts sand. For every 1 sand, we get 2 construction material. I would actually like to go and set up a line and get that done. So let's go and do that now. Also, what I would like to do is get a more direct path to it. So they don't have to come all the way through Des Moines and then come all the way over here. However, in saying that, is our closest city that would like construction material is Durham. So first thing I want to do is come down here to the Des Moines fuel refinery. I want to configure this, and I want to add street access. So now we have street access on there, and then I want to run a road basically from here over there to the construction material. So I'm just going to go and slowly drag the road out through the desert till I get to my destination, which is right here. Alrighty, more of a direct shot. Let's go ahead and set up that line. So basically it's just going to go from the Des Moines fuel refinery over to the Des Moines construction plant, where we definitely want a full load, stop time no more than 90 seconds. We will be picking up just sand and dropping sand off. That's all we're doing with no return stop time. And this should actually allow us to produce construction material. That's the plan anyway. So this line is actually just going to be called line number 9. And it's going to be the, I guess, I don't know. I'm trying to keep these lines simple. So construction cargo. And let's go ahead and change the color of the line, and we'll get some vehicles out on this line. I guess we'll go with something like a purple color for this one. The road depot shouldn't be too far away. It's right here. Let's go ahead and add a couple of vehicles. And I'm not even sure. I guess I'm just going to go with this one for sand. We'll put like 3 vehicles for now for $223,000 on line 9. And they can head out. After I unpause the game, that is. So these vehicles will come get some oil sand from over here, which is already producing, it looks like. Fantastic news. And they will drop it off at the construction material or construction plant. In the meantime, what I want to do is come over here, and I want to reconfigure the station just slightly. So what I like to do is I would like to pause the game. I would like to delete that, and I would like to put a different one on here. So basically what I want to do is set one like a little bit away from, so I want to set it down a little ways, right? Because what I want to do is I want to configure the station, and I want to put a straight axis in here. Now what I want to do in this case is I want to get a road, and I want to bring it down. So I just want to bring a road straight down. Well, that's not very straight now, is it? So basically it hooks up to the cargo station on the track here. Now what I'd like to do is extend the track. Now here's the issue. Do I want it all come into a one track station, or do I want to expand the track to a double track station? Or do I just want to ship the cargo from here up to Durham? That is the question. I think honestly, because this is going to take some time and I don't have the money to do it right now, is I think we're just going to go and ship it direct to Durham. We may lose some money on this for a while, but we can always upgrade or do the train in the next episode. So what I'm going to do is get myself a drop-off station and basically set it right there. And now what I want to do is run a line from this station here, so from the Des Moines construction all the way to Durham. This is not going to be profitable. I guarantee you it's not going to be profitable. But right now I don't have any other choice. So this is going to be, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a chance. This construction line, I'm actually going to extend this out. This could be a horrible mistake, by the way. This could be a real bad mistake on my part. So we're going to extend it all the way out to there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tell it to pick up a full load. Please pick up the bricks. I call them bricks. They're construction material, I know. And drop it off there. Now for this particular line, it's going to take some work. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get ourselves 15 vehicles to start off with for a whopping $1.2 million. And I'm going to set it on line 9, construction cargo. Alright, and then hopefully this will start producing some construction material here shortly. So here comes my vehicles now. They're about to head through Des Moines and they're on their way to the construction plant. As you can see, if you look over to the left, it's already producing some construction material, about 37 of the 200. And basically all I want to do is make this run all the way out. And as you can see, we're getting into a situation where we're getting traffic jam after traffic jam. Makes me wonder if I need to actually make different routes for these vehicles. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, they were loading a bunch of construction material, and there was actually vehicles already picking it up and heading it out to Durham. My only concern with this is the cost. I really would like to know what the cost is going to be with the distance that we're going to have this run. So we're going to keep track of this vehicle, 136, and when it drops off, I'll be back to let you know. Well, so far we're about, I would say over halfway there now. And so far the running cost has cost us we're down to 4,000, 3,000. So it's running us about $1,100 for this vehicle. I'm sure we're going to be in the red because I'm sure we're not going to make that much of a profit once it drops off. I did double the amount of vehicles on this line to 36. As you can see, we're losing $252,000 right now on this line. I kind of figured this line was not going to be profitable, and here we go. This is the moment of truth. How much did we make? $48,000, ladies and gentlemen. $48,000 is what we made on that particular line. Yeah, we're not making any money on this line. We will deal with this in the next episode. I already know what I want to do. I might have already discussed it earlier. Anyway, so in the next episode, just give you a heads up, we're going to expand the train through Des Moines and run it to Durham and start getting food in construction over here. So we'll actually extend the train over to Chattanooga as well. In the meantime, I think I need to start looking at our loans and paying them off. Because if we take a look, we owe $20 million in loans. So I'm going to take the $5 million we have left and pay down $5 million in loans. That actually turns us a slight profit over quarter. So I'm going to leave it there for today. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And until the next time, I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, goodbye.